You're listening to BBC Local Radio and BBC Sounds. With the festivities over and the new year beginning, our next Sikh reflection shines light on what this period means for Sikhs. Jasveer Singh says people are making more effort to be charitable and cheery, but they shouldn't forget the sacrifice the Gurus made during this time.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Jasveer Singh and I'm a born and raised Sikh, currently working as the Senior Press Officer for international news agency the Sikh Press Association. Today, I'm going to talk about an annual area of debate that comes up for Sikhs at this time of year, especially for those of us raised in nations like Britain. As an 80s baby that split all of my childhood between the 90s and early noughties, I am very familiar with a regular diaspora debate that takes place in homes and online at this time of year regarding Sikhs celebrating Christmas and the Gregorian New Year. December for Sikhs coincides with the month of Bo according to the Bikrami calendar. The Bikrami calendar is referred to by the Sikh Gurus in Sikh scripture. The month of Bo for Sikhs is regarded as a month to recognize the sacrifices within the faith which have led to us still following Sikhi to this day. The centering of sacrifice is a timely reminder of this key tenet of the Sikh faith. On the path of Sikhi, sometimes sacrifice will be necessary, and that's why our shaheeds, our martyrs, are so beloved. This concept comes to life through the story of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's four sons, the Char Sahibzade, which translates as the Four Princes. In the 18th century, India's Mughal emperor of the time was attempting to destroy the Sikh following led by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, and it forced the Guru's own children into having to make a stand. Their choice to maintain their Sikh faith above even their own lives is used by Sikhs as a reminder as to all that was given for us. Yet, in the face of such timely tales of sacrifice, British Sikhs like myself also have to contend with our affection for all of the indulgences that come in December. Time off from school and work, chocolate offerings everywhere, the expectation of gifts, and the intention of just laying around and watching good TV all day. Many aspects of what is normal in December's holiday period directly conflict with what Sikhs are trying to remind ourselves during the month of Bo. During Bo, many Sikhs will even sleep on the hard floor as opposed to their beds to remind themselves of what other Sikhs have suffered during this time. As such, debates akin to should Sikhs even be celebrating Christmas are now an annual occurrence in online Sikh spaces and in Sikh homes across the world. Personally, the debate has led to me learning how to appreciate what Christmas is truly all about. At this time of year, people are making effort to be more charitable and cheery, and I can encourage and celebrate this without compromising my Sikhi. Beyond that, I myself have found balance between the two cultures that are entwined in my life by letting those holiday indulgences remind me of how privileged I am as a Sikh. I may not turn down the option to pick out something from a box of chocolates doing the rounds at the office, but I will let it remind me that I need to do my own rounds at the Sikh events taking place in my area. I may take part in gift exchanges, but I will let those exchanges remind me of the gift I've been given by my Guru, and that's the gift of Sikhi. The Christmas aspect to this debate has been common for decades. A newer aspect to the debate, though, is where the New Year fits in for Sikhs from a faith perspective. This new angle comes from an older movement of education within younger generations of Sikhs attempting to learn more and subsequently unlearn what we've already been programmed to believe. And when it comes to the New Year, a big unlearning step for many Sikhs is recognizing our New Year does not necessarily begin on January 1st. British culturalisms many Sikhs have been born into have led to a misunderstanding of the Sikh New Year. If you were to Google Sikh New Year, unfortunately, you would see countless posts saying Vaisakhi is the Sikh New Year. This includes posts from prominent media outlets, all making the same mistake. This mistake comes from somewhere within the fact that Vaisakhi is a term for the April harvest period, which has for Sikhs now become a celebration of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's creation of the Khalsa army in 1699. Sikh Vaisakhi celebrations have been covered by the media since the 70s, thanks to the loud and colourful Nagar Kirtan religious processions which take place for the festival. However, explaining how a harvest period turned into a celebration of the creation of God's own army can be a complex subject. So perhaps calling these celebrations the Sikh New Year was just an easy way to describe the Vaisakhi celebrations. But this mistake has continued, and it is now being challenged by generations of Sikhs with more education on the faith. And Sikhs are now trying to be clear. January 1st is the Gregorian New Year. The Sikh Gurus have stated that the New Year begins in the month of Chet, which, according to the Bikrami calendar, coincides with March. So, as much of the world currently wishes each other a Happy New Year, many Sikhs will be taking this opportunity to actually discuss when the New Year is according to Sikh scripture. These Sikh holiday period debates within the community are often had through social media. Social media has become a vital tool for a generation of Sikhs, as it was the platform from which a wave of Sikh education began in the early part of last decade. Creative Sikh educators found innovative ways to communicate with a younger generation of Sikhs, using platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That wave of education is now settling into shores of Sikhs determined not to let mistakes of our previous generations continue. These include mistakes of making more effort into culturally assimilating into countries like Britain rather than maintaining our own traditions. It also includes mistakes of not defining our own festivals or celebrations in our own terms. So this is why you may see a lot of determined debates on social media and perhaps in other Sikh spaces about how Sikhs celebrate during this period. Recognize that these are just forms of an ongoing internal dialogue happening within the Sikh community that is really just a push towards more education and understanding for all on the Sikh faith. So, moving forward, I hope we can all come to an understanding to recognize that the Christmas holiday period need not be a barrier for recognizing the Shaheeds of Bo, and that the Gregorian New Year is simply a new opportunity to let people know when the Sikh New Year actually begins. From behalf of the entire Sikh Press Association team, we hope you had a happy holiday period and wish you a great New Year. We also hope that the month of Bo has helped you recognize all of the sacrifices that have led to you being where you are today. As is tradition for Sikhi Prachar, Sikh education, I also ask for forgiveness for any mistakes that I may have made during all that I have just said. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
New Year thoughts for this week's Sikh Reflection on BBC Local Radio and BBC Sounds from Jasveer Singh.